All right. It's hi everyone. Happy Almost Acoustic Christmas. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Absolute Almost Acoustic Christmas. My boss would be mad. I am Nicole Alvarez and I'm here with Matt Healy of the 1975.
Hello.
Last time I saw you, we had a chat at Coachella, and this was before a brief inquiry came out, and I wondered, now that it's out, what are your expectations? Like you put out an album and you in a sense expose yourself. It's a part of you. And like for example, some actors don't watch movies that they're in, but what do you do after you release something like that? Especially somebody like you, you're so incredibly honest, which is something I love the most about you.
Oh, thank you. Well, in particular with this record, I didn't really have the respite of finishing a record because I went straight into making a new one. So it was, I was in the studio to start the next one, like mixing the end of the last one. So I didn't have that kind of, there wasn't like a sense of finality to it. So, and then Brief Inquiry kind of took on its own little thing. Like it kind of, and then we got kind of like bigger, and I think that we were faced with things that we'd never been faced before. So we were kind of lucky that we were making a record because we had something to do. You know, we couldn't like have our attention taken. We didn't like run off anywhere or like, I don't know. You know what happens when you get a bit bigger. So, yeah, so we just kind of really, really indulged in making a new record. So I think that the hindsight that you're referencing will probably come after the end of the next one.
I remember reading, this was a few years ago, an interview with you. It might have been a Rolling Stone interview, and what struck me was how open and honest you are, which is extremely refreshing and liberating to somebody, let's say like myself. I have a few dances with my demons, and you put it all out there. But as you get bigger, is it as easy to be as open and honest and vulnerable, or do you feel a little more because you're bigger you should hold some stuff back?
I never really thought about it like that. I mean, there's the obvious, anything that grows in size, I suppose, like that, like, the opposition will grow as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, once you've got like over 1 million followers on social media, it's probably time to like stop reading the comments,
absolutely.
because 10% of it is going to be complete chaos. So it's a bit like, I think that I'm at the point now where I don't really care that much. It's like there's loads of things. I don't know, like if you don't lie, then you don't have to think about what you say.
Correct.
And then also, like, I find that I'm not like an ist. Like, I'm not like a misogynist or a racist or a fascist or any of those kind of things. And I think that, so I'm not going to live my life like in fear of being like wrongly exposed for being one of those things and like a victim of being like cancelled or something. Like, people can deal with the truth. What they can't deal with is like being f***ed around.
Yes.
So
let's talk about the new album. I want to lead with Greta Thunberg and how you came to give her the platform and empower her message the way that you did. Why was that important to you?
Well, it was the conversation happened because we wanted to make like a really modern statement with the first song, and then we decided that she was kind of like the ultimate modern statement. So we asked her, and it was a long shot, and she agreed to do it. I think the thing that what I really craved at that time was like having her message like formally in pop culture. Like, because obviously there's like 1 billion tweets about her or 1 million retweets, but like I like the idea of like something on like a streaming platform or like, like a song, like a formal thing. And that song's already kind of taken on a way bigger meaning than the 1975. So that was kind of its point. And yeah, it's been really, I mean, she's just so overtly inspiring. I think that.
How much time did you spend with her?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. But in that time you got to know, would you say got to know her pretty well, and was it interesting conversation?
I got to understand where she's coming from. She's a very serious person. I think that I kind of entered that room with like a little bit of nihilistic kind of leanings of being a bit like, oh, what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
And then after I met her, it kind of instilled a little bit of hope. Not because she like patted me on the back or anything. The opposite. Just because I kind of like I believed her.
Yeah.
And there's this whole like fetishization about her being so young, and I understand that adds to the kind of like prophetic quality to her, and I do understand that has an appeal, but I think older people focus on it too much. It's like meet her and then describe her as a 17-year-old girl or however old she is, you know. I mean, she knows what she's doing.
I was in a room at KROQ, and a friend came in and said, you need to hear this new 1975 song. And he played me People, and it blew my mind. I listened to it a lot, 50 times a day. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting what I heard, because I was used to something a little bit softer, let's just say, for lack of a better word. But please tell me something about People and where it came from and how it feels. Hopefully we'll see it live tonight. But tell me about People.
The riff of People has been around for like 10 years. That was always been my like checker guitar with P90s in it riff, like do 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 do. But like I said, I mean, I don't know. We all grew up. Me maybe a bit more so, but we all grew up in kind of like punk and hardcore, and that was like our thing. So, you know, all the early bands, you know, Jerks and Germs and Minor Threat and all that, but kind of bands like Refused were like really important to us. And I think that song's kind of like an ode to like them and via Nine Inch Nails. We wrote it in Alabama actually on the bus, because we have that studio tour bus.
Yeah.
That's here tonight. But so we did it in Alabama just after the abortion bill. There was a lot of like debate and anger and all that kind of thing. So
it's a very cathartic aggression that comes through on the song. Every time I hear it and I sing along, I feel liberated after. It's magnificent, and I can't wait to hear it live. And what else can you tell me about the new album? I know there is this thing on the internet where people are thinking that it might be a companion to A Brief Inquiry, but it is absolutely not. It's just they happen to be under the same Music for Cars. What is happening?
Just crawled under the camera like Rambo.
But yeah, tell me, like, what are you most excited for people to hear or experience on the new record?
I'm just excited for it to be out so it can become a thing, because it's not even a thing for me. I haven't like finished the track listing, like it's not a thing yet, and then as soon as it becomes a thing, it'll be this objective thing for everybody else. It's really interesting because you put something out and then everybody sees it like, oh, that's like the way that it's always been, and it's almost not. And it's like, it's so weird. I'm kind of addicted to that though, because it becomes such a different record. It's weird. It's a bit overly long in a nice way. It's kind of like quite scatterbrainy.
Okay.
It's quite a lot of country.
Country?
A little bit. There's quite a bit of like kind of country. It's like, you know, it's really weird. I didn't think that we'd make a very guitar-y record, but we kind of have made quite a guitar-y record.
I was reading something you were talking about. It was an article about you talking about guitar rock, or bringing it back, or preserving it, or saving it, because there's not a lot of it going on. So I look forward to it. Maddie, I find you endlessly fascinating, and your honesty is so refreshing, and I think you're also a great conversationalist, so it's always a pleasure to sit and talk with you.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. This is Matt Healy, the 1975. We are live at KROQ's Absolute Almost Acoustic Christmas.
Thank you.